Welcome back to Factory Sealed. It is September 4th, 2016. My name's Eric Peters, and joining me today, Mr. Tom Ragan.
Gay guys.
Did you just say gay guys?
Gay guys.
I mean, your weekend in Germany last week must have been awesome.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Or odd.
Yeah. Oh, God. I woke up with more money rather than,
You know who doesn't know about more money? Mr. Dan Curtis.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Dan.
Hey.
That's a living in the high country joke.
I like that, yes. What is money?
Cash dollars.
Cold, hard, golden farthings. Gilded, I think, not golded. Golded's not even a term.
Golded.
I'm going to take this out back. I'm going to put some gold on it. It's going to be golden.
Hey, if Landstalker can have golds, I guess.
Yeah.
And if England can have maths.
Is that not math? Don't you mean math?
When you do a problem, you've mathed.
Oh, go and shit in the larder, for God's sake.
Sorry, that's going to cost you 50 credits.
There is no such thing as a larder. I think you're making that up.
Is it like you guys call it a pantry, maybe?
Well, yeah, but it's not cold.
Yeah, but it's kind of chill. The larder's kind of chill, but it's mostly for just storing lots of
non-perishables.
Heinz beans, son!
Yeah, non-perishable Heinz beans.
Oh, speaking of beans, we had beans last night with dinner. Real beans. Real hickory smoked, brown sugar, and bacon beans.
Does that mean there is a strong chance of a catastrophic fighting incident at some point throughout this episode?
Well, actually, there's more of a chance of, like, if there's just a long silence of me, followed by a distant yelling.
That'd be so funny.
Just gripping the sides of the toilet.
Well, we got about a minute in without a toilet reference.
That's longer than I would have expected.
I know.
So I'm looking up pictures of larders here, and this one seems to have the side of a mountain in it.
What?
Yeah, like there's a mountain inside of this larder.
What,
Yeah,
like,
you know
so
we have food, I
larder,
guess.
so it's like a larder to Narnia.
Except that there's no passage because mountains are impenetrable, Dan. Here, look.
What are you talking about, you lunatic?
I would
Just
like
fucking
a
look at
larder.
the picture.
I'd like a larder.
I mean, actually, it looks like less of a larder and more like a shitty storeroom for books and coolers.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, yeah,
I mean, just the name larder alone sounds dumb.
Larder. Does it?
Go get me the spices out the larder.
It's just because you're not used to it. You've been brought up with the old pantry.
Yeah, pantry and cupboards.
Oh, cupboard.
Cupboards made from boards.
Put it in the cup.
That's where we stored the herbs.
Duh. Gotta get all that thyme and rosemary.
Which cupboard are the herbs in, Eric?
Hold
that
on.
one, darling.
I don't know. Go ask
Which
Herb.
one?
He
You're
knows
being-
where all the herbs are.
Which cupboard, darling? You're being really vague about it.
I got some gram masala, paprika, mixed herbs.
We got some durian candies in there.
Speaking of durian candy, I think Jack Grant put out a message saying that the first person to die in our D&D tournament has to eat a pound of durian candy.
Surely that's a death sentence.
I think it would be as well, but I'm going to go to the Chinese Cultural Center, and I'm actually going to find the durian caramels. Those ones taste like pure diapers instead of just... No, it's caramel.
Oh, no.
If you pronounce it caramel, you have brain damage.
Can you just
Listen,
imagine
don't
him
draw
going down
with
our
your
shops,
crayon.
Tom? You go, just picks up a Cadbury's caramel.
He's like, excuse me, how much is the caramel? It's
The shopkeeper would probably drop kick her out of the window.
Number 1, it's 65 pence, and number 2, it is in fact caramel, sir.
What is that in real money, sir?
I got this really expensive American
I don't understand these coins with the woman's head on them. What the hell is this?
What's this?
You guys
You
know.
want to see me when I was in Australia, right? We bought, Eric, I don't even know if you say them. Tom, you know what coasters are, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
coasters that you put your cup on.
Yeah, but obviously with my Geordie accent as well, I was trying to communicate this to some women from Australia because we'd bought some as a present for people, and because I'm an idiot, I left them somewhere. Yeah, so I went back in an ice cream parlour because we basically retraced our steps, and I was saying to the women, if you found a bag full of coasters, and I've never seen somebody look at me so blankly. Like, is this basically the look that lady gave me was, is this man retarded?
What did they think you were saying?
I don't know. And then it went on for a bit, and I was going, coasters, things to put drinks on. And then I just think they couldn't understand me any further. I should have just said beer mats, because Australians will get that.
That's so
But
funny.
suffice to say, I did not find them.
Should have tried putting on your really strong, overly enunciated British accent and just gone, coasters.
Yeah. Excuse me, Australian folk, have you seen my coasters? They're in a small brown paper bag and depicted various places from around Australia. Perhaps you've seen them.
Yeah. And then he would have been like, oh yeah, coasters.
That's not Australian, that's American.
Oh yeah, coasters.
Oh yes, what? We found some coasters.
Coasters. Hey, can't believe you got some coasters.
Oh, coasters, you
Now
can
you
come round
sound
there for a
Californian.
barbecue and we'll have some meat.
I think it's safe to say that we as a show collectively suck at accents.
Hey, that's a good accent, son.
No, it was shit. It is about as shit as my Russian accent.
We shall drive to the shops.
Next week's game is Driver.
Oh, you have said it too soon. We usually say that at the end of the show.
Yes, but we don't know if it'll be around next week, so to get a Driver.
Oh dear, that was just noise.
Maybe if I add a lisp to my Russian accent.
We've got a retarded Russian in the house.
In the house. Just the who? The moose?
Oh yeah, Jess isn't here.
Oh shit!
Oh, yeah. You should have mentioned
There will come
Every
a week.
week.
There will come a week when we introduce everybody that's here and immediately follow it up with "and so and so's not here."
No.
we're getting.
Because without fail, when we introduce somebody does a stupid voice and it sends us off on a dark path. Like every week.
It is
No, I
the
didn't even
truth.
intend. I didn't even intend on it. It just happened.
Yeah, but we're the type of people that we can take anything and make it dumb.
That's true. There's no
Anything.
getting away. More pantries, eh?
It's the pantry larder.
What a wonderful pantry larder, son.
Get me the oil. It's gonna be a sensual dinner.
Make sure you bring the herbs as well.
Bring me the herbs.
That's just confusing.
That would be confusing if you were a chef named Herb.
Herb, put on the herbs. There's not enough seasoning, herb.
What?
Herbs for Herb. Sounds like a charity.
That's a good one.
Herbs for
Donate your-
Herb.
This
Wait,
week's
no,
Proper
shit, other way
Bollocks
around.
invention.
Donate your herbs for herbs course.
Now you guys are confusing me with.
How about herbs for pervs?
Well, I mean, what kind of herbs do you use? That would solve that.
That's a spice. Basil.
Isn't it? Hazel. She's a 90-year-old woman.
No, basil.
Oh, I thought you said Hazel. I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know what the fuck hazel is, but let's go with this. I mean, maybe it's a dumbass spice they have over there.
Darling, should I sprinkle some hazel on the tea?
There is a hazel herb.
I was going to say, there is. Yeah, it's brown.
Oh, well, that was a good guess.
Yeah. Witch hazel leaf powder. What the fuck? This is a video game podcast.
Sorry.
Why are we talking about herbs?
For the same reason we spent about 18 episodes talking about shit.
And even more talking about biscuits.
Oh, God, the biscuit debate of 2015.
Oh, I still remember it like it was yesterday.
I just called Tom out the other day about his masterful avoidance of real breakfast biscuits when he was here. We went shopping, and I specifically bought him a tin, pressurized, refrigerated, of my favorite breakfast biscuits. Slaved over the stove one morning.
What? No, you didn't.
Apron and everything. Hand cracked that pressurized tube.
Else.
Yeah. Bare ass apron. Laid those
Such a
things
Tom
out.
coming downstairs and you're with your back to him against the stove. Your ass. Good morning, Thomas.
I just throw it. Hey.
Hey, Tom, I made you some biscuits.
Biscuit. So I bake these biscuits. I lay them out beautifully in a bowl.
And Tom just
Serve
cracks
'em
open
up.
a packet of digestives.
Yeah.
And I strategically or not so subtly placed the bowl directly in front of him. Cat grabs one, eats it. Again, not bad. Tom just avoids it whole time. Didn't think I'd notice, but I did.
And he didn't speak to him for the rest of the trip.
You flew halfway around the world,
And I'll do it again.
didn't eat a biscuit.
And I'll do it again.
Goes against our ethics.
See, I
Actually,
didn't
we
even
did
do
get
that.
him to eat a biscuit by covering it in concrete and meat.
That's true. I did give in. And, yeah, it was interesting. It's just a when in Rome situation. Yeah, okay, I'll try it.
You
But
were in the
see-
heart of Rome in this scenario, in my kitchen. I mean, that's inside the
basically
Colosseum
palace.
fighting with lions. And you went,
But I had the
Oh, thank
concrete mixture. I had the
But see, if there was a choice between breakfast biscuits and Lucky Charms, then I would have to pick Lucky Charms.
Oh, we've got a box of Lucky Charms here.
I'm coming down right now.
how about Lucky Charms on top of a breakfast biscuit?
Now you're talking, Sonny Jim.
It's about as American as it gets.
Syrup.
We can get Lucky Charms over here now, but they're about £8 a box.
I'll send you a box for Christmas.
Thank you.
So I actually have to send some stuff your way for that card game.
You do.
I do. We shall talk about that at a later date, but we have an actually really cool giveaway coming up. Just to preface it a smidge or a
Keep
skosh.
listening for about 18 weeks and we'll be ready to reveal it.
Yes, I mean, that's fair. But it's if you like card games like Magic, one of my friends, personal friends, made a card fighting game out of Capcom and SNK characters called Card Fighter Project.
What is an impersonal friend?
Someone you look at and go, he's a fucking tit, but I still talk to him.
I feel that may have not been such a subtle dig.
Dan,
More a kind of blatant, flashing neon sign of a dig.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I love you, Dan.
I love you too, Sharon.
I promise when you come over, I'll cook biscuits in an assless apron for you two.
Thank you. That'd be wonderful. It's all I hope for in life.
Breakfast with an assless apron. I'd be more concerned about an apron with a back on it. Because wouldn't that just be a dress?
I believe you can get the comedy ones with the arse cheeks hanging out.
Yeah. but they're flammable.
Yeah, but an apron by nature just covers the front and you tie it in the back. So if you're wearing nothing under it, your ass cheeks are going to hang out anyway.
But what if you turned round to talk to Tom and then the thing spattered on your ass?
How many people cook backwards?
Yeah, but if you just hypothetically, if you turned round, talked to Tom while it was still spattering, and then spattered, and hot, sticky batter went all over your ass.
How hot do you think I cook biscuits?
I don't even know what they freaking are.
I'll describe it. It's a cylinder of dough in a pressurized can, and
That you keep refrigerated.
from what I saw, yeah, you kind of crack it on the side of a table, and then split it open, and then cut it into segments, put them on a tray, and then put them in the oven. Is that right?
Yes.
what
Because they're
does it
already
taste
pre-segmented.
Yeah.
Tastes like
they're
a
already
fucking
pre-segmented.
biscuit.
It tastes like I only know from the concrete mix. It's kind of like mashing up a scone.
So it's like a scone, basically.
No, it's not a scone. Oh, Dan, here. I found a perfect image to show you what it looks like when you crack the can. Oh, man, you're going to love these. These are so delicious. This just spews deliciousness. Look at that.
That looks like a disease.
It's just not...
Well, that's
It looks
actually,
like-
that's a crescent roll, but that's kind of what they look like. That's what you make pigs in a blanket out of. Do you guys know what pigs in a blanket are?
Yeah, they're sausages wrapped in bacon.
No, wrong.
No, that's right.
No, it's correct.
No, that is
correct.
100% wrong. We have uncovered
I'm afraid
a new...
66.66 recurring percent of this podcast disagrees with you right now, so therefore it
Yeah.
wins. Because it is the
So
majority.
let's let Google settle this. When I type images, what's the first image? Oh, this one. You guys are wrong. These are pigs in a blanket.
My God, Google.com lies to you.
And
then.
the first image for me is a sausage wrapped in bacon.
Yeah, well, it's pandering to you.
Here,
There's also a picture of a real pig wrapped in a sausage roll.
I even sent you a picture of my exact Google search.
Well, you got to click images.
No, look, it just tells you right there.
Mine has directions at the top with the correct one. Then the other one over here, it's like these fucking.
I
suck.
went directly on Google Images. First image is a sausage wrapped in bacon.
Okay, so clearly Google panders to different.
Oh my God,
locales.
Eric, you've got to try the real pigs and blankets.
Well, I've had those. They're just that's not what pigs in a blanket is.
So what are those?
These are hot dogs wrapped in crescent rolls. That is a pig in a blanket. Because
Ugh, it's not
What
even
would
real
you
meat.
call a pig in a blanket from an English perspective?
bacon wrapped sausages.
Oh, you're such a goon.
Yes. that you're not even wrapping real meat there. It's just reformed meat wrapped in weird
that's
dough.
the pig. That's the rest of the pig that didn't turn
Yes,
into pork
like
chops.
the face and the asshole and the
Well, and the lips too. Don't forget the lips.
True, other lips.
Pig in a blanket is like a staple of English Christmas
So
dinner.
yours
You
looks
just
more like they should be called pig blankets because the sausage in the middle, and then is who the fuck knows what, but the blanket is actually made out of the pig. So therefore, yours should be called pig blankets, not pigs in a blanket.
No, because the sausage can be eaten externally from the bacon, you see, so therefore it is inside the bacon. So hence
Yeah.
the term pigs in blanket.
But Tom's argument is irrelevant because he said our pigs in a blanket are just refined meat bullshit, and that's the same thing with yours.
No, it's not.
What are you even talking about, you fool? Talk about some games.
We'll settle this later.
We will. I'm sure
I mean, I think we have uncovered the new debate. I'm going to send you a recipe for the best
God.
pigs in a blanket.
Oh man,
I mean, this was a delicacy when we were kids.
I'm gonna make you an English roast, and you'll be
Like
tits will be blown.
macaroni and cheese with ketchup and applesauce.
When you come over to England, Eric, me and Tom are going to rustle you up a proper English roast,
Yes.
and you'll see how it's done.
The thing I'm not looking forward to the most are those slimy, gross beans.
Oh man, you mean the real Heinz tomato?
You can't.
sauce
I'm
baked
afraid you
beans?
can't have an English fry up without those. So
God, they just look so gross.
I would
if you
even
want, we can put some maple syrup in them for you.
Yeah, or I'd even put them in a separate little bowl next to the plate, just so you didn't have to.
No, I mean, clearly I'd
That's
have to eat them like this picture. I mean, I'd have to just slather them on toast.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
that does
you
not look
also-
appetizing in the least.
What you want to do
They are nice.
is put a sausage between the beans and the rest of your food to use as a sort of barrier. So your beans, so your beans. They
No,
go
see,
on
I
toast.
grew up in the
See,
Midwest
I'm
where...
the same as you, Tom. With that, the barrier.
No, I grew up in the Midwest where you have a potluck, and do you guys know what a potluck is? A potluck dinner where everybody just gets together and everybody brings a dish to pass, and you want to get as much food as you can, so you like layer it on top of each other like a food pyramid. So you're eating, you're like, oh fuck yeah, this one, I forgot about this one, and then you dig through that, and there's another one down below. No barriers, just food.
Okay, that's a
Change horrible.
nice concept.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool that you bring
Kind of like a mixed grill, but not.
Yeah, I think here it'd be more like you'd bring around, if there's someone's having a barbecue, you bring around the meat or something. Someone will bring around the salad. Someone will bring around the potato salad. You know?
Yeah,
And
it's like
mix
a
it in
potluck.
that.
But we love our casseroles. Everybody brings a casserole.
And I would bring myself. And nothing else.
And a hunk.
Guys, I'm just here for the food. Fuck the company.
I'm right. Food is better than people.
God. Dan, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Did you finish Kingsglaive?
No.
You are a...
Wait, so you started watching Kingsglaive, Dan?
I have.
Oh,
And
so,
then didn't finish it.
okay, but is it because you had to go to bed or something?
I started watching it properly this morning. The other day it finished downloading and it was 1 o'clock in the morning. So I was like, right, I can't watch a 2-hour movie now because I have to go to work. And then I sat down to watch it this morning, and then Crystal come in and went, I'm going to go for a walk. And I was like, oh, for God's sake.
Well, you
So I've
got
seen
2
the first
feet.
hour.
Go for a walk then.
So I've seen the first hour.
Ah,
But from what I've seen, right, the animation on that thing is incredible.
It's single-handedly the best CG movie I've ever seen with
Eric,
animation.
I forgot I was watching an animation at times.
really?
Oh, yeah.
Really, it's so good.
See,
You know how when you it's kind of getting into the realm of Uncanny Valley. You know, you guys know what that is, right?
Yeah.
Uncanny Valley.
It's not Indian. I hope that wasn't an attempt at my accent.
The only part that pulled me out of it was when you were looking at the big fat almost Scottish guy. What's his name? Libertas? Liberty?
Liberis.
Jesus, that sounds like a disease.
He's all about that liberty, son.
But his upper lip always pulled me out of it. Like, just looking at him, it was just stiff and never moved, and that was the only...
What with a stiff upper lip and all?
Was he
Yeah, but he
British?
was like
by any
a
chance?
bumbling Southern American just idiot.
It reminds me of Wedge from Final Fantasy VII. That's how I always imagined him to be.
Fat Wedge. He warms his ass on the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's on the latest trailer they did for Final Fantasy VII remake, and he just sounds exactly like how I imagined.
Just dumb and duh.
Yeah.
Oh, see,
You're doing this for the planet, right?
Oh,
Don't care.
that's how I imagined him. Sort of like a, hey guys.
We're gonna destroy the Mako reactor.
Mom, I did it. I'm an avalanche.
Then I'm gonna blow up. Spoilers.
So Kingsglaive digitally came out last week, and I'd been itching to go see it. There's a theater locally that was playing it, and it's on the other side of town. So I figured it would cost me a few bucks in gas to drive over there and back, and in time, and then I'd have to buy snacks, and then a $10 ticket. I'd easily be over $15, so I just bought it. And I learned a hard lesson about buying games on PSN or movies on PSN that I will never buy another PSN movie ever again, because you don't physically download it. You just gain a license to stream it. That's it.
Yeah, which was odd.
Yeah.
It's real dumb. And I thought I just got super excited and went, purchase. And I didn't do any research. I could have gotten it on iTunes or on Amazon and used it with any of my other devices and downloaded it and taken it with me. So if I want to watch this on an airplane, I can't.
Ah, that sucks.
Yeah, super annoying.
Is there anywhere that you can buy films DRM free, like when you buy games on GOG, for example?
I don't think so. I think there'd be a lot of legality issues with that.
Yeah, I guess. Because that's what you want. Because you don't want to be restricted to one ecosystem. Or if you are, you have to just make sure you always buy from that one place. So
yeah.
But yeah, no,
after I got done with the movie, because I'd read quite a bit about it beforehand, and it just got lit up in reviews. I got to the end of it and immediately came to the conclusion that modern movie critics are simply out to find things to criticize.
I think that is what the internet's about nowadays. It's not finding the best of something; it's about finding the worst. And no matter what happens, like a game, a movie. I mean, I'm sure Suicides. I haven't seen Suicide Squad, but I'm sure it's passable. You know,
it may be a fun watch once.
Yeah, but like, it's not going to be like Schindler's List, is it? You know,
no.
It's Suicide Squad, and I think we hold things to too much now.
Do you think it's perhaps because we're so saturated with so much content that?
But it's because we had. I think me and Eric talked about this last week, Tom. Like, you get so much trailers and information before something comes out. Now, the hype level just exceeds the movie itself or the game itself.
Yeah.
Well, the one review that really took me back was from I think it was The Wired UK, and the author was this gaming journalist, covered a lot of gaming stuff for the website, and he said his biggest criticism of this movie was it spent too much time defining the Final Fantasy 15 world and its rules. Like, dude, that's the whole fucking point the movie exists, is to preface
if you didn't have that, you wouldn't understand anything.
Exactly. Yeah. This movie exists solely to get people ready for the game.
Yeah.
Solely. That is the purpose of it, to set up the story.
That guy is obviously reviewing it as a standalone film without imagining nothing else existed around it.
I mean, are you going to watch Final Fantasy 15 Kingsglaive if you're not a Final Fantasy fan?
Exactly.
I mean, you've got to cater to your audience.
Yeah, and exactly. That's the point. Like, I watched the Ratchet and Clank movie a few days before this, another movie that got lit up in reviews. I loved it. One of the best video game movies.
I think it would be great as well.
It's fantastic. It's nothing but pure fan service. If you played the PS4 game, you've played all the other Ratchet and Clank games. There's so much fan service in that movie that you just watch it and go, this is fantastic. I'm seeing all the best parts of a Ratchet and Clank game on the big screen.
Yeah, but if you rewinded back years and years to when Final Fantasy VII Advent Children came out, I mean, you're not going to watch that, are you?
No.
Unless you love Final Fantasy VII, and I do, and so I thought Advent Children was incredible. It was
Spirits Within is a little different because they just released that as a standalone movie.
Yeah.
I still enjoyed it because it scratched that Final Fantasy movie itch. But it really wasn't that good of a film.
Yeah, and they pushed boundaries with the animation at the time, because when Spirits Within came out, I remember there was a lot of like, you could see the skin pores and the hair was really like detailed. Like, it was actually, it probably doesn't look great now. But
I think Kingsglaive should get that kind of rap nowadays, because I've never seen animation like it in a movie.
It's insane. The movie itself,
good. Like, even the way the lips move and stuff, it just looks natural. And it's just so good. Like, the hair has like bits of wispy hair and stuff like you wouldn't usually see necessarily in something like this, and it just looks so real.
So do you feel more set up for the game now? Like, you're even more excited for it?
I'm 100% sold on this story. I actually had to fight with Dan to get him to watch this.
You did, yeah.
Because I
was waiting for this.
Yeah, Dan's whole philosophy was, I don't want to watch it because it will make the wait for the game that much more unbearable.
It doesn't really make me want it right now, by the way. I've watched half of it.
To which I immediately responded saying, well, I don't want to watch the first Batman because I know this is going to be a trilogy and it's going to make me want the second and third one even more. So I'm just going to watch the third one when it comes out. Or, even better, when the Final Fantasy VII remake comes out, you shouldn't play the first episode because it's going to make the wait for the second and third one too unbearable.
It will. But
I'm glad you finally watched it.
I'll probably replay that multiple times, so you know.
I'm glad you're finally watching it, because it is one of the most entertaining movies I've seen recently.
It's got some pretty good voice talent in it, too.
I didn't realize till about 10 minutes from the end that Nyx was Aaron Paul. I knew he was in it, I just didn't realize that was him.
No, it doesn't sound like him.
Mm-mm.
And King Regis is Sean Bean.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that either till the end.
Lena Headey from Game of Thrones is in it. Who's she?
She's Crow, I think.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, is she? I won't say what happened anyway.
It does such a fantastic job of prefacing, here's where the game is going to pick up, because that's one of the problems with a lot of games is that you're dropped into the middle of a story and you're like, well, how did all of this get to where it is now? And that was the other
That's
the
a
other
very
criticism.
famous thing for that's what Uncharted tends to do. It drops you in the middle of the storyline, then catches up with it later on.
Yeah, but Final Fantasies typically don't. And that was another criticism of this, is that they said it was the plot was overly political and somewhat convoluted. So a perfect example of a Final Fantasy game. Like Final Fantasy 12 is all about politics. Final Fantasy Tactics, who the hell understands the storyline from Tactics?
There's so much politics in 7 as well.
Yeah,
12 is the worst for politics, though. I don't understand the storyline, that one, because you spend so much time in 12 away from the storyline with the exploration that you just kind of tend to forget what happens.
Even Final Fantasy 13 is highly political.
Oh, that's the plot's too convoluted in 13. It's too.
But
with the fallacy
people who are
and the
diehard
EC
Final Fantasy fans enjoy that. So this is what makes a Final Fantasy
we
game.
know what to expect.
Yeah.
But I didn't find the story that hard to follow. It's just two warring factions. You know, what's so hard to follow about it? And then all of the backstabbing that's going on within is just awesome.
Is it long?
2 hours.
Yeah.
But it's almost pure action from beginning to end.
Okay. Yeah, I do want to watch it because I've pre-ordered 15, so I'd like to have this set up.
I think it's definitely worth the $15 purchase to watch it. I'm definitely going to be watching it more than once. Christy sat and watched it with me, and I think I watched it probably like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, so the kids were asleep, and I had my PlayStation headset on, and I just had the volume cranked because the audio was fantastic. She sat and watched 50% of it without any sound, and she's like, that looks like a good movie.
I liked it when it started playing like the Final Fantasy, the main tune. During it, yeah, I like that as well, and I like the van which said like Chocobo's delivery service and stuff.
The product placement was a bit in your face.
God, the blatant Audi advertising! My God,
really?
Oh yeah,
is that the car that the guys drive in the?
I don't think it is.
No.
I think it's different.
Okay.
They're gonna
in the movie. It's like in your face, and they say it belongs to Prince Noctis, who's the protagonist of 15.
They announced that they're going to make one of those Audi cars. Actually, make
sweet. Like, I hate Audi drivers though.
Have you gotten to the part where they've introduced Princess Lunafreya as an adult?
Yes.
She's quickly becoming one
it.
of my favorite Final Fantasy princesses.
Oh yeah.
Even more than Dagger.
It's Garnet, son of a bitch.
What about Aerith?
Did you?
It's Aerith.
Did you just rename her back to Garnet?
No,
I did. Yes.
Yes.
And then it's like she's got that secret identity where she's calling herself by her own name. It's great.
It's not Garnet. It's Garnet.
As soon as he tried to call it Dagger, I was like, I'm not calling it Dagger. Kind of stupid ass.
Maybe it's Garnet.
Er Garnet.
Yes.
Le Princess Garnet.
And it's Dagger.
De guerre.
It is the dawn. And Vivi.
Vivi. Oui, oui.
Hello, I am Queen Noah.
I'm a Freya. So despite the
Le Amarant.
the 7% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, you recommend it?
The thing is, though, look at the audience score.
Okay, so the
Audience score is like 75%.
Ah.
So that right there is proof in the fact that modern critics are full of shit.
Well, it's just the wrong people are reviewing it, right? Like, when they were dishing that review out, whichever publication this is, they didn't pick someone who was at least somewhat into games and understood the audience.
Well, the one that I took the most problem with was actually the gaming section of The Wired.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I clicked on his articles, and they're just all gaming articles. Like, clearly, this guy should know that this movie was created specifically for Final Fantasy gamers to preface this game.
Yeah, he should, but at the same time, if he isn't that kind of RPG fan, then...
The New York Times says that there's a very real possibility that Kingsglaive could result in brain damage.
What?
And,
I enjoyed it, so I guess I'm already brain dead, thanks. New York Times.
And The Verge, they say, ultimately the Kingsglaive story is too muddled to ease viewers to this new world. So again, someone not familiar with Final Fantasy's premise, right?
That's another problem with modern society. Everything has to be dumbed down.
Yeah.
And just like, not everybody has the brain of a mollusk.
This one here says, essentially, it's a really long cutscene, as if that's a negative. Like, those are the best parts of the game.
Yeah.
Debatable.
The narrative...
It's a shame they can't implement this tech into Final Fantasy 15 itself, because it would look awesome. I mean, it looks pretty good already, but... I'm looking forward to that so much. Can't wait.
The film is at least a marvelously enticing ad for the upcoming video game.
So exactly what they set out to
exactly
do.
I don't know why that's negative. That is its purpose, right?
In the big Final Fantasy 15 press conference, that's exclusively what they talked about the point of this movie being. We want to make sure that people are fully invested in this world before they get to it. That's why they had the anime series. That's why they're doing this movie, to get people ready for it. Mm-hmm. And I'm 100% in. If I was already excited for 15, but now I'm even more so.
Yeah. It's most people, though, whether they're positive or negative, do praise the animation. So that
I don't think you couldn't. It's incredible.
Well, there you go.
But even the world itself is so cool, because the core concept behind Final Fantasy 15 is a fantasy based on reality, so it looks more realistic than Final Fantasies in the past. But you also have these fantasy elements throughout, and it just looks so cool.
Do.
It is good. Shall we get to our game for the week, folks?
Yeah,
okay.
You all right with that, Tom? Is that good?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
such enthusiasm.
This week, we were covering another Game Boy game, Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3, for the Game Boy. Hence, it's a Game Boy game.
It's such a strange title, because it has nothing to do with Mario.
Well, okay, it's not Mario World, it's Super Mario Land. There were two Super Mario Land games prior to this one on the Game Boy. And
Which had Mario in them.
correct, with Wario, I believe, as the antagonist. And at the end, Wario was exiled or shot out of the castle or something into Kitchen Island, where we're playing now. And this whole game revolves around Wario going through these worlds to collect as much money as possible.
That's why I love it.
That's the point of the game, which is kind of a stark departure from a lot of other Nintendo games. It revolves entirely around greed.
Yeah, it really does.
He's 100% out for himself because he was kicked out of Mario's castle, so he wants to get himself the biggest, baddest castle possible.
Oh, yes.
So he's going through all these worlds collecting coins and treasure just to get a castle.
Yeah, it's awesome. I just love that idea. My only experience with Mario up until Mario 64 is the 3 Super Mario Land games for the Game Boy. These 3 games. You've got Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins,
which was fantastic.
Which was really, really good. Like, I super enjoyed that game. It was, at the time, just fantastic on the handheld. And yeah, Wario Land, it is a departure. You're playing the antagonist, and it is weird. Like, you're just chasing massive bags of money and treasures.
Yeah. It's a 100% selfish cause because he wants to be more impressive than Mario. That's it.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was looking up some of the advertising for this game too, and like the main core concept that they were pushing was be the bad guy.
Yeah, for once, don't play the good guy rescuing a princess or defeating.
It's always better to be bad on a game. I've always said this. If you get an option of being good or bad, always go bad.
So, what about with things like, not to deviate too much, but if you play these games like Fallout and Skyrim and stuff, do you tend to like be bad?
Yeah,
and steal stuff and
see. I think if they give me the option, I'll occasionally do it, but there's that intrinsic drive to be good because you know that the game is designed for you to ultimately play as the good guy.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Like, I played through Knights of the Old Republic 2 quite a lot back in the day, and what I tend to do with these kind of games is play through the good on my first playthrough, and then go to bad on the second. But if you play Knights of the Old Republic 2, being bad is so much better than being good.
Well, yeah, those games, those games,
you get force lightning, and you can like fry 6 people at once, and it's awesome.
My favorite memory,
like Infamous as well. What you played Infamous, right, Eric?
Oh yeah.
And
but still, with that's a perfect example. I always edge towards being good because I have this huge populace of people around me that are responding to me, and it's like, I should be a good guy and help these people out.
Yeah, but you're fighting against your inherent douchiness.
Yeah.
I just like chucking grenades at people and stuff. So.
My favorite memory of Knights of the Old Republic was when the first game, you drop in, and you can go into a door on your right, and you find this old lady whose treasure chest in her room or something is locked, and you can either open it for her and leave, or kill her, open it, take her stuff, and leave. Obviously, kill her, take her stuff, and leave. Yeah, of course.
What I loved on Knights of the Old Republic 2 as well is as you get more evil, depending on your actions, you can also corrupt your companions as well, and they start turning to the side of the Force. And I was like, that's so cool. And because you could, quite a few of them, you could turn into Jedi as you went along, but obviously you go down the dark path, they start coming along with you. And it was just so good. Why isn't there a Knights of the Old Republic 3 yet?
They turned it into Knights of the Old Republic, or Knights of the Old Republic MMO.
They shouldn't have.
Anyway, back to Wario Land.
Yeah.
The plot isn't entirely forthcoming. I think you kind of have to have an understanding of 6 golden coins.
It's probably all in the manual
to know where this picks up, but I had to read about it afterwards to figure out like what the hell is the actual plot of this aside from accruing tons of money. And obviously Wario gets ejected from Mario's castle. He wants to have a more impressive castle, so he travels to Kitchen Island, which is this weird island controlled by, I think they're called the Brown Sugar Pirates, that have just decided, okay, we have this massive cash and treasure. We're just going to sprinkle it across the island instead of just centrally located. I mean, we'll just put it some here, some there. So Wario starts stealing all of this with the ultimate goal of getting to the castle and claiming it as his own. Captain Syrup, I think, she's a female pirate. She's the ultimate boss. At the end, she summons a genie that you have to destroy. The coolest aspect of this, let me ask, did either of you finish it?
I finished it before, but I didn't finish it this time around.
Okay.
I got pretty far, but I have 100% completed this game before, because you can have multiple endings. So
depending on how much cash you collect.
Correct.
Dan, how far did you get?
World 2.
God, you're an idiot.
Was that Mount Teapot?
Yeah, I got to the end of that, I think.
Got you.
So, as Tom mentioned, there are multiple endings. When you get to the end of the game, based on how many coins you've collected and treasures you've collected, you will get different houses.
Different size. I think if you haven't collected much cash during the game, it might be like a birdhouse or a tree house or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's a birdhouse. I'm trying to find the list of...
A castle, a Chinese pagoda, a log cabin, a tree house, or a tiny birdhouse.
Yes.
And I got the birdhouse.
But if you collect 99,999 coins and all 15 treasures, the genie will put Wario's face on the moon.
Yeah, creates him his own planet.
Yeah, creates him his own planet.
That's collecting every coin in the game.
Yes.
Wow.
It's the only game I've ever 100% completed.
That is insane. Because
it's the only game you've only got 100% completed.
Like as in just I've done literally, I can't do anything more. Yeah, I think so.
Not even the GTAs.
I almost did everything in 5, but they just keep adding stuff. Yeah.
On GTA 3, I spent days looking for the final hidden package.
Oh, geez.
Well, that's what the strategy guide's for, Dan.
Yeah, I had one. I had the map, but I'd accidentally crossed off one, which I didn't have.
Oh, God, I've done that before, too. And you have to go back through all of them again.
Because you got to remember, back in the day, you're looking at a top-down map. You're not looking at the world, necessarily, with pictures.
Yeah.
You're looking at the top-down map. So I crossed off one, and I had to go through them all. And I kid you not, it was the last one that I went to.
Oh, man.
It was just on a bridge over the road. I was like, there it is!
I was like, I miss getting the getting maps in games, like physical maps.
Rockstar still tends to do it.
Yeah, and also they did it with The Witcher, I think.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. But, this is...
the trend with the game industry now is to put as little in the box as possible unless you've pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
So,
We've got a special edition.
How many treasures did you guys find this time through? Because they're not super easy to find.
No, I think I wasn't totally focused on them, so I only got 4.
Oh, shit.
I didn't even know what I was doing, so I don't even know if I got one.
So hidden throughout the levels are keys, randomly.
Yeah.
And then...
Oh, I found a key.
You can take that key to another location in the world where there's a door that has a skull door, and you pop that in, there's a huge treasure chest that will give you a treasure.
Mm-hmm.
I only found 2 the entire game.
Did?
Yeah. And it populates A to O in the alphabet, I think.
But I noticed halfway through the game, one of my treasures disappeared. Do you utilize the treasures to respawn if you run out of guys?
Shit, you can use your treasures for something, but I just can't remember what it is. I didn't actually use any of mine; they just stayed there.
Yeah, I only found 2.
I'm pretty sure they're just locked in. I don't remember using them actually. Come to think of it.
So gameplay wise, Wario's bigger, fatter, slower. It kind of, I believe, the transformation system is pulled from 6 golden coins, right?
Yeah. What's weird is it the same in 6 golden coins where you start off big, and if you get hit, you go down to small Wario. Rather than most Mario games where you're small or some, I don't know, it varies. I just remember Super Mario Land, the original, you always start off tiny. And then collect a mushroom and grow from there.
So in this, you can collect different hats that will change Wario. I think there's only 5?
Yeah, there's one... Which ones are there? There's one with the horns.
Which gives you the ability to do a ground pound, which I didn't find out till the last world.
That's only 3.
No, there's more than 3.
It's not. It's 3.
I always thought there was...
I think there's more than that, Dan.
Because there was one.
Literally reading the synopsis of the game right now, and it says there's 3.
One of my
That's
favorites
definitely
was
not right.
The jet, the one that like jets you across the screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good.
I like the dragon hat.
Is that like the flamethrower?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, I think there's 4. No, there's 3 actually.
I could have swore there's more than that.
I only found. Come to think of it.
Okay, so no. What I'm thinking of is when you're small Wario, you can get just a basic hat that will make you big Wario. Then there's the Bull Wario, Dragon Wario, and Jet Wario.
Yeah. I love how when you finish, because they're not known as worlds really, they're courses, right? Each level is called Course 1, Course 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that when even after you've collected coins and gone through, the money haul doesn't end there. There's always these little bonus rounds where you have 2 buckets and with 2 ropes either side, and you have to it's kind of like just a game of potluck where you have to either get a weight that comes down or a massive bag of money.
But you have to gamble your cash that you've gained in the courses.
Yes.
Yeah.
To play
there's
them.
the other bonus round where you can throw the bombs at the creatures in the background.
That was so hard.
Yeah.
I thought that one was easy.
I
eventually just stopped playing them, though. About halfway through the game,
I couldn't
just
be bothered.
stopped.
I couldn't be bothered after 2 rounds. I was like, I'm not doing that again. I don't even know why I'm doing this.
To get your planet, Dan.
Yeah.
If I'd known that I would get a planet, I would have got everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm traditionally terrible at finding secrets on games. I don't like finding the treasures on Uncharted. I never find them all.
Oh no.
Oh,
It's like impossible.
Uncharted 4 is the worst for that.
Even though I'm pretty sure I've looked everywhere, I'll still miss something.
most Uncharted's, I can get to the end, my first playthrough, and I had about 70% of them. I had 10% at the end of Uncharted 4.
Yeah. The
Just
world was
organically
just so much
finding
more
it. And I was even
sprawling.
looking.
Yeah. The world just became so much bigger, so they could hide them in really small places.
Yep. What about gameplay-wise? How do you guys feel like this controlled versus what a traditional Mario-style game should play?
It certainly took some getting used to, I thought.
Yeah, I just remember that I didn't remember this game being quite so slow because there's no run button, so you're just kind of trundling through.
That's exactly how I feel, too. It is slow.
I just
But
found
then
myself...
again, I'd come to expect that with Wario, though. He's a bigger dude. Like, just gamble along and get me some coins.
They've got to have it slightly different from Mario, haven't they? You know, so I mean,
I just found myself constantly using his charge move to just get through the level quicker.
Speaking of the charge move, a lot of the enemies you can actually touch as small Wario to stun them.
Yeah.
Like
you just knock
won't
them upside
physically
down.
die. You don't have to jump on them. If you like there were, I don't know the technical names for the enemies, but there was an enemy that had a spike ball that he would throw out in front of him. If you jump behind him and just tap him from behind, it'll stun him.
that kind of threw me a bit at first.
I couldn't figure out why it was happening.
Of course, when you jump on the enemies, of course, they don't always die. They stay on the screen, and then you can pick them up and throw them.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, he isn't dead. So what's going on here? I was like, is there another move I don't know about or something like that? But apparently not.
You're thinking of the penguin, I think, Eric. The penguin that throws a spiked ball at you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the pencoon.
Yes, the penguin. The enemies are really weird in this game. Like they're quite. I remember from when I played it as a kid, they were quite scary. Like there's like this thug-like rat that has a knife.
Yeah.
in one of the later levels.
No, it's a sailor costume duck.
Yeah. No,
That's terrifying.
Here's a list of all the
two.
enemies.
There's two. He's called. The one I'm thinking of is called Gao Gao. Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like he was quite.
I'm gonna shiv you. It's not so much a knife; it's just a prison shank.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me that kidney, son.
It's a dirty blade. He just walks around with.
Just wipes it on his jeans when he's done stabbing you.
Yeah.
My favorite is the chicken duck. It's just this chicken duck with a platform on his head that floats around, that every time you throw a different enemy, I think it's a goom, he'll give you 10 points.
The wandering game.
Yeah. I really enjoyed how they didn't...
Not just a wandering goon like Eric is.
Yeah. Well, this is a goom with an M, not an N. So big difference. I really enjoy how they didn't just lift traditional enemies from the Mario world.
Yeah, it was completely different. And I don't know if these enemies were ever reused in future games. Has Wario had another game since this one?
Oh yeah,
apart from
Wario Land 2.
Yeah, WarioWare as well.
I can only think of the one, the DS launch game. That's the only one I can think of.
Wario Land.
WarioWare with the mini games as well. They're kind of what he does now.
Okay, that's what. He
Yeah,
does
dude.
now.
There was Wario Land 2, Wario Land 3, Wario Land 4, Virtual Boy Wario Land, and Wario Land Shake It, along with Master of Disguise and WarioWare Inc.
Virtual Boy Wario Land would be interesting.
What? I must have just dropped Wario Land after doing this game.
Wario's not my favorite Nintendo character. No. He's kind of up there with Waluigi. It's just like, whatever. They just needed to create alter egos.
Okay. I liked the Pouncer enemy. He's like a rock with spikes around him, and he kind of moves through the level, and you have to keep up with him. And
there were so many difficult levels like that.
Yeah, it's really tough. And like, how did I do this as an 11-year-old?
It was the swimming levels too were interesting. It took me a while to realize that you can actually jump along the top of the water.
That's the best way to get around.
The pinwheels, the seahorses, were the most obnoxious to try to get around.
Yeah. What about you've got these kind of walls of, I don't know, it's like kind of like a sticky wall with arrows pointing downwards. So you like have to like kind of jump in between the two platforms to kind of get through and just keep hopping along. I don't know how to describe it better, but yeah. It's just there's lots of weird, tricky bits that it doesn't really give you any idea of how to get through.
They had the minecart levels too, kind of like out of Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah, I love the minecart levels in any platforming game. Like, did you play Donkey Kong Country for the Game Boy? Or was it?
Classic.
I can't remember. Might be just Land. That was awesome.
I think I had it for my Game Boy Color.
Yeah. And like, you're kind of going along in the cart, and then when the track runs out, you have to jump before it runs out.
Those games are rock hard.
Yeah.
Have you guys played the one for the Wii that they redid on the 3DS?
With the bongos?
No. That's the GameCube one.
Awesome. Donkey Kong.
All right.
Love that game.
I gotta figure out the name of it because it's really cool. They had this Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Oh,
for the Wii and the 3DS.
No, I always meant to get it, but I never did.
It's really good.
It is so good.
Did
I
you
remember
play
playing that
Donkey
on the
Kong
Wii.
64?
No.
Oh, banana.
Ooh.
Oh, banana.
Yeah, it's just when you get a banana, it goes, oh, banana. It's great. Made by Rare, of course, for the N64.
Tom, what was your favorite boss from this? There were 2, 4, 6, 7 if you include the final boss.
Probably the one that looked like a giant penguin.
The Bobo bird?
Yeah, I think
the drunk...
bird. He's big black bird.
Yeah, the drunk, pissed off penguin.
Yeah.
Who just kind of floats and throws things at... All the bosses were pretty much the same after Fun. The giant head with big nostrils and earlobes. The first few you had to actually charge. I actually liked Bifun because he's like this Nacho Libre style wrestler, and you're fighting him on this platform, and you have to charge him to stun him and then throw him into the lava off the platform. But after that, all of the enemies basically started throwing things at you that you had to collect and throw back at them.
Yep. Like,
the genie took me a few tries to figure out how to get, because he has this lamp that you have to throw, and it always lands on a different side.
Yeah.
And you have to get it to land face up, and it'll shoot out
Like a cloud.
a cloud that you have to ride up and then jump on the genie's head. And unlike all the other bosses, this one takes like 10 different hits instead of the standard 3.
Yeah.
Which was the boss where you had to knock him off the platform?
The bull,
Spice
Bison.
Pirate?
And I didn't realize you had to knock him off the platform and spent ages fighting him.
Yeah, that's the
And I was
bull.
like, this isn't
on
working.
Mount
Yeah.
Teapot.
I think
Yeah.
you have to chuck him in the lava. And
Lorver.
I found Bobo a bit irritating.
Bobo is that's the giant drunk. Oh, you're talking about Henyari that you liked.
Yes.
The pissed off penguin. I thought you were talking about the big bird.
Yeah, that's it. The bird was kind of annoying. The penguin was just funny because he's got like boxing gloves. And
I think in all, I enjoyed this game. I got to the end though, and I'm like, well, I don't remember a whole lot about it. Mm-hmm. But I do recall that I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Just
say it was
basically a
fantastic.
time waster game.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, you get to the end, you're like, well, it's
play
okay.
Did you play this game back in the day, Dan?
No, I haven't played this one.
Did you have a Game Boy?
I did not
Or you have
either.
a Game Boy Color.
Of course I had a Game Boy.
Oh, good man. Oh, you had Pokemon, of course. That would be crazy.
I'm assuming you guys both emulated this.
Sonic the Mundo.
Yes, I did. I did have to emulate it.
I
don't
actually
have
spent
the-
$3 and bought it on the 3DS.
Nice. Yeah, I would have bought it. I just didn't have a. I don't have a console that has a that has the virtual console, unfortunately.
Last thing before we move on, did you know about the debug mode?
No, I don't think
So
so.
if you press start and then press select 16 times, it enters debug mode, where you can change any of the settings within the game. So you get this little box down below that you can change the numbers of like how many lives you have, how many coins you have. You can change Wario's hat to whatever you want at any time.
No way.
So it's like a built-in cheat system.
Yeah, a lot of games back in the day have this.
Yeah, I just
Sonic has it. You can like spawn item boxes and stuff whenever you want.
Huh.
And
in theory, you can make staircases and stuff out of them if you so wish to.
if I remember, I think when you start Sonic the Hedgehog, the original, I think it was like up, down, left, right, or something, and A or start.
You got to be so fast with that.
Yeah, it makes a ring, like a ring noise.
Yeah,
You can,
I always remember the cheat on Sonic 3 when you have to hang from on the first level. There's some swinging vines. You have to be on one of them, and you have to press I think left up right a few times. That unlocks the level select and stuff. And I always remember that.
so random.
But debug modes are traditionally on all the games who are always in there. Kind of, it's obviously like more of
I
a
like
backdoor
that.
for the
It's-
developers to use at the time.
It's like, hey, just in case you didn't use all the features we spent ages programming in, like, yeah, put them on and off and do what you want. Like,
I believe a lot of the fan game community make use of this to find hidden things in games and develop them further. But fan games tend to get shut down very quickly nowadays.
sucks.
Like, did you guys see that Pokemon Uranium that came out?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to download it before they took it down.
Oh man.
I mean, yeah, that would have been great. And then there was Streets of Rage remake, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, you showed me that, Dan.
Yeah, I managed to grab it before I got pulled, and it was great. It's such a labour of love. Like
Yeah.
everything you loved about the original Streets of Rage is but expanded upon.
Well, Dan, do you remember a
Branching
few years
paths, different
ago?
characters and stuff.
You remember a few years ago when you showed me a video of somebody who was remaking Oddworld in full HD before they announced the actual HD remake? It looked
No, I
phenomenal.
don't.
Yeah, you sent that to me years ago.
Oh wow, I can't even remember that.
No.
Wow. Yeah, it's like on YouTube somebody's made a sort of a scene like a Hyrule Field scene in Ocarina of Time, but using like a up to date full.
Oh yeah, he uses Unreal. That guy. He's done loads of different things.
Yeah, so cool. And yeah, and everyone's like commenting like, "Make this real." Yeah.
Good stuff. So you guys enjoyed Wario Land?
I like Wario Land.
Yes,
It reminds me of childhood, and that's always.
Well, I've been meaning to play more of it all week, and it hasn't really motivated me to do so. So I wouldn't say I loved it.
Tom, you probably have the most experience with the Super Mario Land and Wario Land games. How do you think this stacks up to the Mario Land games?
I'd see, for some reason, I don't know why I was so into Wario Land. I think I remember playing it when I was on holiday, so I was just dumping tons of hours into it. But in terms of like actual gameplay and stuff, I really preferred 6 golden coins, like the second Mario Land game. Mm-hmm. And I kind of got a love for the first one. I know that a lot of people think Super Mario Land is absolute trash, and it is a weird game. If you try and go back to Super Mario Land, it's really strange. I'm not sure why. It's just the scale of it is kind of odd. The enemies don't match any other Mario game, really. But yeah, these are the only 3 I played like tons as a kid, and Wario Land really, it's an interesting idea to play the bad guy. And if this game was like 1993, I think 92, 93, and
Wario Land.
Yeah, and I hadn't played a game before that where you played a bad guy, so that's one of the reasons probably that I remember it so well. Because yeah, you really are just collecting cash dollars
Just for
to
you.
buy a castle. Yeah, you're not rescuing a princess or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, at the end, after you destroy the castle, do you remember this, where the genie's castle gets destroyed to reveal the pirate's true treasure, which is a giant gold statue of Princess Peach? And then Mario comes along in a helicopter and steals it.
oh yeah.
So again, Mario saves the princess.
Yeah, he has to. That's in the script.
Poor Wario.
In the script every time.
Every time.
Dum.
Oh, it was great though. Really, really enjoyed playing it again. I got to Parsley Woods, so not too far from the end.
Yeah.
Is that an herb?
Damn it, Herb! It's not an herb. All right. We don't have any emails this week.
Oh,
I know, it was sad. But you
you
can
have-
send us an email
make one up.
at Factory Sealed. Factory Sealed at manatank.com. We've changed it so many times. Factory Sealed at manatank.com or podcast at factory-sealed.com.
Yup.
But we have some new reviews.
Yeah,
We do, and none of them are negative about you, Eric.
Yeah, I know. Nobody's offensive. Nobody sucks. Everybody's interested in the games. I think that's my favorite review that we've gotten is from somebody who listened to one show, and it was our New Year's show where we're talking about our favorite games. And Jess, I think, was hungover and tired. And his only criticism was, the girl doesn't even sound like she's interested. She's falling asleep.
That was a great review.
That does sound like Jess, to be fair.
I just like that he says the girl as well.
Yeah, it's like, that's how I clearly know that you listen to less than one episode.
And the girl, whatever her name is.
That goddamn girl likes video games. What the hell is this?
Well, we say she likes them, but we're not sure.
That's
she
my
doesn't have a
ignorant
British.
American accent.
You portray it so well naturally.
Yeah. Did we get more? We're up to... Oh, boy. Dan, would you
Yeah,
like
I've
to
had three
share our
new
recent
ones.
reviews?
I would. Thank you. First of all, thank you, everybody who did these. These have legitimately made me laugh, most of them. Personal favourite is the first one we got from Pepe Sylvia. Sylvia? I'm not sure how you say it.
Sylvia.
But he gave us 5 stars, and he said, one of the best podcasts on playing classic video games from my youth. They focus primarily on 90s and early 2000s games, but are not afraid to go further back. All the hosts are great, and they give off a great sense of camaraderie, with great banter that is most of the time hilarious.
Most of the tome hilarious.
Most of the tome hilarious. Sorry. I would recommend this podcast to almost anyone. Wrote while a little drunk, so please excuse the errors.
Thank you, Pepe.
Thank you, Pepe. He did quite well for most of it, though, until the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite impressive for drunk.
It is, actually.
Thank you to Use, who said, it was a great show. Again, 5 stars. I've been listening since around episode 10. I've probably listened to the first 30 episodes 5 times. It's a great, fun show with a good range of hosts. Please keep up the good work.
Oh, the first 30 episodes. That's right around where Aaron dropped off.
It's also before me and you, Tom.
Ah, the glory days.
Oh.
The shit days.
Right. I don't think that's right.
Yeah. And final new one is from somebody called Retro Review, who says it's a great listen and says, to be fair, this is not a typical always on topic podcast. The rapport between friends is much a part of this series as the games. Once Tom joins the show around episode 50, it settles into a great recipe that continues today. Again, if you're looking for something more scholarly, try another podcast. But both are a weekly listen for me for different reasons. 5 stars, you slags.
I like how he puts scholarly in quotes, like as if the other shows are actually scholarly. They just try to be more intelligent. We're just like, these are fucking games, along with pooping 2x4s. I mean, whatever.
Great review.
That was on Factory Sealed and Wrapped this week, by the way, everyone, in case you wondering what he's talking about.
They gave me shit for not knowing what a larder is, and then, of course, I turned it around into actually talking about shitting wood.
Yeah. I think it was me who went there, actually. You just took it to a whole new level.
And then we all went.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was telling you about the ice chests filled with sawdust and then pooping wood came out of it.
Of course.
Yeah. And then we all lost that shit.
Thank you for your new reviews, everyone. If you want to leave us a review, please. We love them. We'll read them out.
And as we mentioned earlier, our game for next week is Driver.
Oh, it's a Driver.
Driver for PlayStation 1. In this game, you will take control of an unnamed protagonist and get into a car and drive it to different locations around what we assume to be...
Are you reading the synopsis in a Russian accent?
No, I'm just making it up as I go.
Right.
Do you want me to read the synopsis in my Russian accent?
He's not an unnamed protagonist. What are you talking about?
What is his name? Is it Vladimir Skolval?
The plot of Driver tells the story of John Tanner, a detective even.
A director, as he goes about and he directs people in traffic. He's actually traffic cop.
Detective. He's a detective with the Russian mob.
Your Russian accent is even worse than mine.
Going undercover in order to infiltrate organized crime.
What is this?
Tom, do yours.
Tanner's first mission is as getaway driver for bank job.
Well, Tanner is then called upon to either drive a stolen car to a yard for respray or help a gangster to carry out assassination.
If Tanner takes the stolen car,
This is so bad.
I want Jess to do it.
I don't even know what yours is, but it's so bad. It's just the shittiest accent ever.
And Tanner then talks to a prince named Rufus.
What is that?
Who reveals that he is busting out an associate of his, Jean-Paul, from Armored Police Car.
Apparently, he eventually smashes the car belonging to one named the Black Interceptor. Tis a
That
dildo.
sounds like a dildo.
Which then leads to a double-headed dildo party fest. In which Tanner must evade. I may have ad-libbed part of that.
That was great.
That was beautiful, everyone.
I do remember not liking the Driver games because I liked the Grand Theft Auto games more. Like, wow, this is a step backwards.
Yeah, I mean,
But to be fair,
No.
this came out before Grand Theft Auto 3.
it did, and don't forget, like Grand Theft Auto was top down, and Driver is very much not.
No.
So
Just to be fair, there's pretty much zero chance we're all going to finish this.
I can't remember if it's long or not.
Let me look.
I don't think it's very long, but
Driver? It's about 15 hours.
how long do you expect me to drive for? Come on.
One can
Drift
only sit on ass too long before ass goes numb.
But
Must take regular breaks to refuel with petrol.
Eric, you are an American man. You are used to driving.
Me sit on a fat ass all day.
Cousin Nico, would you like to go bowling?
See, there you go, Dan. Just channel your inner Nico.
Yeah.
Your inner. What was his cousin's name?
Hey, Roman, cousin.
Roman.
Cousin.
Hey, cousin Roma.
He was more Belkin, though.
Let me tell you, cousin, the women with the big titties. Everything you want of the American dream, cousin.
I just literally remember that game of ringing me up every 2 minutes and asking me to go bowling. And I was like, no.
Hey, cousin.
Stop
Hey, cousin Nico, you want to go bowling?
trying to hang out with me.
Now
You're
he's
a loser.
Italian.
I know.
What is wrong? Do you have brain damage?
The difference between the two is not too vast.
Well, you went from God knows what to actually a pretty good Belkin accent to Italian. There is zero future of voice acting for you.
Hey, that video we did where we played through Dungeon Hunter Alliance where we did the accents was pretty
Flugelhorst. Wishy woo.
No, before the spell names, we started acting out the plot, and then you got bored and just started talking like a moron.
So normal.
Yeah. And there's literally this bit where I'm talking about catacombs, and I go through about 5 different accents in the same sentence.
God.
It was an absolute classic.
Deary me.
If you want to send us a list of accents we should try to butcher, we can try. But yes, we're playing Driver for next week.
Oh, Driver.
Driver! No, we gotta stop. Like,
Driver.
we have to draw a line somewhere, otherwise it's just gonna keep going forever.
On a constant loop,
Driver.
like fucking
Let's
gold.
drive this show
I
directly
love
into the
driving.
ground.
Jesus.
Let us drive to the other side of...
It's so stupid. Speaking of Driver, I remember going into a GameStop once when Driver 3 came out, and my uncle is just awesome at making stupid comments about things. And the advertising for Driver 3 was so dumb because they'd replaced the E with a 3. And he just looked at the guy with just a deadpan stare. He's like, "What's this Drive 3er?" And the guy looked at him like, "Are you a fucking idiot?"
Yeah.
I hate that in things. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It happens quite a lot.
It's marketing BS.
Go driving for the third time.
Yeah. Once again driving. Drive again 5. Back in the driving seat.
Put it in D. Occasionally put it in R in case I need to drive in reverse.
Driver 6, parallel park.
Driver 7, traffic jam. Not driven anywhere.
Driver 8, truck driver.
European truck driver. Drive on the wrong side of the road.
Driver 10, driving up the wall.
Driver 15, shift driver.
Fucking hell.
Driver 16, driving me crazy. Life simulator.
Damn it, Edna. You are driving me nuts.
Oh,
So stupid. That's Russian, Bert. Edna!
Edna, kind of a tune. I don't care if you're dead, bitch.
Now you're Mario!
creeping
I don't
into a
care! Yeah.
I don't care, Edna. A driver a 20. A Mario driver.
Could you imagine if they called it that instead of Mario Kart? Mario Driver 64.
Mario Drive.
Drive Mario in a circle. I like Tom's driver 17 driving me crazy. Flight simulator.
Comrades, did you know that Driver was called Driver, you are the wheelman in North America?
Get behind the wheel and drive me.
What, behind the wheel?
Yeah, the wheel, like a dead baby cow. This dead cow takes me nowhere.
Right, just preemptive strike. I'm not going to be on next week's show because this is going to happen for the entire
All that reminded me of is the GIF that you sent round, Eric, of the guy striking a deer.
I don't know how that was possible.
It can't be
Yeah.
real.
It has to be.
This GIF of a guy hitting a deer in his car, and the deer is flying through the air in like a frisbee motion. Like, it's,
Forward. He hit it so hard it went forward.
I thought it was fake. Because it looked like it had been like kind of photoshopped in.
I don't think it is, though.
No, it looks, when you look at the
It's one of those
damage-
videos that just gets funnier as you watch it.
God. Oh dear.
Guys, can I just say, apparently the Windows port of Driver has the ability to drive in Newcastle upon Tyne near me.
The new what of... say that again?
Newcastle upon Tyne, you can drive on Driver.
Okay.
You can drive in Newcastle upon Tyne, where Reflections Interactive have made the game is based.
I hear Newcastle, but what's that noise you're saying afterwards?
Upon time,
Upon Tyne.
fucking the time is all mine, all mine.
I don't know what you're saying.
It's the river that flows through Newcastle, you goo.
Oh. Okay.
Got the time.
Doesn't that go through London, too?
No.
No.
That's the Thames.
Oh, man, close enough.
Don't just have one river for all of England.
One river that splits the country.
Oh, the bridge. I'm assuming there's a bridge that goes somewhere over the Tyne.
Yes. Looks like the Sydney Harbour Bridge, yes.
I think I'm going to go to the game shop today and try to find an actual copy of Driver.
Oh, you should.
I'll walk in. Do you have a copy of the Driver?
And on the Driver 2, you can enter and leave your car, if that is the correct word in English.
Yeah, Driver 1 you couldn't, could you?
No, that's correct. Or you have to stay in car.
Forever Driver.
Seatbelt permanently on.
You have been assigned as a taxi driver for the rest of life. You must live, eat, sleep, and die in drive car. Drive yourself into the grave.
Drive yourself to the drive-through.
Get a cheeseburger.
Get yourself a gosh darn a cheeseburger.
Your goal this week, Dan, is to improve your Russian accent.
Okay.
Just talk to Crystal in pure Russian.
The game.
Yeah. Just be a method actor.
I think
and
people
talk.
need a solid heads up that next week is going to be filled with a lot of stupid Russian accent.
If we have any Russian fans, we do apologize in advance.
They probably can't understand us anyway.
It's a beautiful language.
Either that, or they finally got to this part of the show. They're like, Jesus, I can finally understand them. And then the small Italian base is like, finally, Dan makes sense.
I wonder if that I can't remember whose girlfriend it was who was trying to learn the English via the podcast.
Shit.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how she's getting on. If I can't remember who that was, but if send us another email, let us know how she's getting on.
Yeah.
If you can understand one word that I say, I'll be quite impressed.
What?
Oh, here's what?
What?
Eh?
What?
Dan?
What?
Guys.
What?
What? Is that a towel hitting a wall?
Yes.
What did you use that towel for there, Sonny? Daniel.
Jacking it.
Hello.
Jacking it. Like Santa Claus making a game. Daniel.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, apart from some prostate trouble.
Hey, my prostate.
How are you?
I'm dead.
Not this again.
Where can we find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at Frosted Slice.
Thomas.
God, good Lord. Hello.
Jesus Christ, that was bad. Tom.
All right.
You did ask.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, not this again.
It's Hyper Jelly.
And you can find me at the Honest Pizza. You can find the show at factory_sealed or check us out on facebook.com/factory_sealed or factory-sealed.com. Guys, that's going to do it for this week.
Thank you.
We will see you.
Thank you. I go to the bowling with cousin Roman.
You enjoy your bowling.
I shall.
We'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Party bye.
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 Shut up.
Shut up, son.